Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this September the 8th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Friday out there so far. Everybody has a great Friday evening. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you've got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about your weekend forecast, Saturday and Sunday. Also, we're going to take a look at the information on Major Hurricane Lee, which is down. Then come down a little bit in intensity, down to 150 miles per hour, where it was 260 miles per hour, then dropped off 10 miles per hour. And I'm going to go in a little bit more detail in this video here about Adelia. I see some dry air, look like it's trying to punch into the system, so maybe further weakening may occur with this storm as it continues to move westward. But it could remain Category 4 status, but we'll dive into a little bit more detail on that in just a few minutes. Also, we're going to take a look at the Watches Warning and Advisory map for your location across the nation. Also, we're going to take a look at the Watches Warning, the Watch Warning Advisory map. Also, the Storm Prediction Center overview and the storm report that came in this afternoon. We got over 130-something reports of severe weather came in this afternoon, so stick around for that. And also, we're going to take a look at the tropical weather outlook. We're going to take a look at Margot and maybe the track of it as well. Okay, new viewer, have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to smash it before you leave this video. Also like these videos, share these videos, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. Alrighty, as you can see here, we're going to start off with your Saturday forecast here. As you can see, we got quiet conditions from Quebec, Canada, through Montreal, Toronto, Canada, through portion of Ohio, over towards Chicago, Illinois, portion of Wisconsin, all the way through portion of Kansas and Oklahoma, through Missouri, down into Alabama, Mississippi, through portion of Texas, down into northern and central Mexico as well. Also over toward the Gulf of California, also through portion of New Mexico, up toward the Denver, Colorado area, through Arizona, over toward Los Angeles, San Francisco, up toward the Seattle, Washington area, and also into Oregon, Idaho as well. Also toward the Vancouver region of Canada, southern Canada, also southwestern Canada, southern Canada as well. Alright. We got showers and storms extending from portion of California through Nevada, Utah, just northwest of Denver. Also up toward the Montana region through South and North Dakota, back over Minnesota, Wisconsin region as well. Over toward Lake Superior as well, up in around the northern Michigan region as well. Alright, we got showers and storms down around Dallas, Texas, and the central Texas, down toward Houston. Also into the Gulf of Mexico, toward the Florida Keys, Miami, Florida, through Georgia, around the Atlanta metro area, portions of Tennessee and Kentucky, through the Carolinas, up to Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, Boston, all the way up into portions of Maine, also in the New Hampshire, Vermont region, also in portions of New York State, down in towards eastern Ohio and West Virginia and Pennsylvania region as well. Alright, the red slashed area across portions of northern Georgia through the Carolinas and the southern Virginia. Some heavy rain and flash flooding is possible. And here is Tropical Storm Java over here in that region there in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Alright, let's move on to your Sunday forecast. As you can see, we got quiet conditions from Quebec, Canada, through Montreal, Toronto, Canada, over toward Chicago, Illinois, through Porterville, Illinois, through Missouri, also down toward Dallas, Texas area, toward Louisiana, also over toward the Panhandle of Florida, up toward Atlanta, Georgia, through portions of Tennessee, Kentucky, and Ohio as well. Dry conditions expected over southern Canada, southwestern Canada, portions of Minnesota, South Dakota, all the way back over toward the Seattle, Washington region. Also, we have dry conditions from San Francisco, Oregon, portions of Nevada, through Los Angeles, California, through portions of Arizona, New Mexico, western Texas, northern Mexico, central Mexico, and also the Gulf of California. And there goes Tropical Storm Java as it continues to move on off to the west and off the forecast picture here as well. Alright, the red slashed area, we're portions of Oklahoma and the portions of Kansas and southern Nebraska and Colorado. Some heavy rain and flash flooding is possible. Plus, we got a little bit of mixed precipitation possible here in portions of Denver, just west of Denver, in the portion of Colorado, portion of Utah, also into Wyoming as well, maybe southern Montana as well, maybe some mixed precipitation there for your Sunday. Look at the satellite imagery of Hurricane Lee. As you can see here, we got a lot of dry air coming in from the west. You can see it eating away at some of the portions of the air storm Still got a good cluster of showers and storms rotating around the center of rotation. Right now, it still do not have no eye wall at this time. So the eye wall has done collapsed in the system, but I would not be surprised to see another eye wall reforming maybe sometime later tonight or on your Saturday. So just want to let everybody know that. But as long as the system don't have much of an eye wall in the system, it's going to continue to weaken down some. Also, if some dry air happen to move into the system, it's going to also lose some of its intensity as well. Right now, it has winds of about 150 miles per hour, so it's still a strong Category 4. But I would not be surprised in the 8 o'clock advisory, maybe this system could drop back to a 145 miles per hour storm. Like I said, it could start weakening as fast as it can start weakening some as it continues to move into some dry air. And also, like I said, the center of the eye wall has collapsed. Right now, it looked like usually when the eye wall collapses, it usually comes right back and not that long. But this here is taking a little while for it. But if the eye wall continues to stay collapsed, surprised this thing weakens significantly as it continues to move westward. It may drop back to a Category 3 hurricane maybe by Sunday. If this weakening trend continues, it may become a Category 3. So I would not be surprised to see that. So, but right now, I'm gonna stick with my guns and stick with the weather, the Hurricane Center. Right now, we're gonna stick with a Category 4. But like I said, I would not be surprised to see this may drop down to a Category 3 maybe by Sunday. Also, this is my opinion, so I just want to clear that up. So if anybody say, "Hey, why you going different than everybody else?" This is my opinion. I'm forecasting what I see in these computer model runs, and also the satellite imagery as well. All right, let's take a look at the system here. This is a cone from the National Hurricane Center. As you can see here, here's the wind field of the storm. And the yellow is tropical storm force wind. The orange yellow is behind the X there, hurricane force wind. See, they got the major hurricane all the way through 2 p.m. Wednesday, but you can see it already beginning to make that turn. I'm pretty sure if you live from anywhere from around the south of the Outer Banks of North Carolina through the coastal area of South Carolina, down into northern Florida, central and southern Florida, and the Florida Keys, you will not have, you're going to be safe from this storm. But anyway, but if anybody north of the Outer Banks, from the Outer Banks northward into portion of Maine and also toward Nova Scotia, that's the area I'm still concerned about that may get grazed or maybe even a direct landfall in portions of that region. I would not be surprised to see that as well. Alright, well, if you're tracking the system at home, currently located near latitude 18.9 north, longitude 55.5 west, maximum sustained winds at 150 miles per hour with higher gusts, and moving is to the west northwest at 13 miles an hour. Like I said, I would not be surprised to see this maybe hold steady at 150 or drop back to 145 miles per hour. And then maybe the 11 p.m. advisory could drop back to 140. I would not be surprised that if it does, I was right. If not, I was wrong. But like I said, if I see that weakening trend in that system, I think it's going to weaken just a little bit as it continues to move on its journey to the west northwest. All right, now let's take a look at the computer model runs. These are the hurricane models. All right, here's the system here. That's the current position. See, it's still compacted to the west northwest, and all of them takes a hard sharp turn to the right. Bermuda, you need to be on the lookout for this system. You may get some tropical storm force winds off of this system as well, as it continues to graze by your vicinity several hundred miles to the west there of your location. All right, let's take a look at the intensity guidance here. All right, as you can see here, it's about 130 knot winds. So that equals up to 150. So that's probably, I figured it might be already 145 knot winds, because if it's already 130, I figured it's probably about 140, 145 knot winds right now. Now, see, most of the computer model keeps it as a category 4. There's only two now. Only two or three models keeps it category 5. Most of the models now keeping it as category 4. Some of them drastically drops it off in the next 24 hours to a category 3 storm, but most of them do keep it as category 4. I would not be surprised to see it drop down to a category 3 or low end category 4 storm by Saturday or Sunday. So that's what I'm just saying, because you look at this storm, it looked like it's kind of it's not well organized now. It's getting more disorganized than it was earlier this morning, and also yesterday. At least yesterday it did have an eye wall. Today it looks a little different. So that's why I said I would not be surprised to see this thing drop to a category 3 by either tomorrow or maybe into Sunday. But like I said, I'm hanging around a category 4 and maybe a category 3 intensity for this storm as well. All right, that's your tropical update here. Let's take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location across the nation. All right, you can see here we got some severe thunderstorm watches and also some ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings extending from portions of Maine all the way down into portions of Virginia. We got some severe thunderstorm warning over southern Virginia, right along the North Carolina-Virginia line. Also right along the Tennessee-North Carolina line. We got some flood advisories there as well. Special weather statement down in southern Florida with a few flood advisories there as well. Special marine warning along the Louisiana coast offshore. Some special weather statement for Louisiana for a few strong storms. Same up here in portions of Colorado, Wyoming and Montana as well, and also over toward California. All right, we got excessive heat warnings in effect for central and eastern Texas. Same over here in portions of Southern California, and also in the portion of Arizona, and also some heat advisory reports in Arizona. I mean not Arizona. Sorry. Oklahoma and Texas as well, and West Texas there also. All right, Alaska looks good. Hawaii and Chain Island looks good as well. All right, let's move on to the Storm Prediction Center overview. This is the current position, current look at what's going on across the area. We got marginal risk in from Maine all the way down into portions of North Carolina. With a slight risk in the watch area up here in portions of Virginia all the way into Maine. Same down here, got some marginal risk down in portions of Florida. Also in the portions of Carolina, got some scattered showers there as well. Marginal risk, slight risk over portions of Texas as well, and also marginal risk up here in portions of South Dakota, back into Montana. As you can see here, you can see a little bit better with the convective outlook. There it is without the radar. Current watches in effect. Like I said, we got from Maine all the way down into West Virginia and Virginia. MDS discussion. Currently just talking about the current watches this afternoon. Alright, storm report this afternoon. As you can see here, we had no tornado reports. Wind report, we had 108. 2 of them were large. High. Hail reports, we had 22. 0 were large, and total number to 130. Would not be surprised to see a few more added to the list. All right, most of the activity took place in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, also down in the Boston and Connecticut region, down in the portions of southern New York State, also in the portions of Virginia, eastern North Carolina, southern Georgia, northern Florida, much of Louisiana off the coast there in the coastal water, and also in the portion of Arkansas. That's damaging winds, and also the hail reports are pretty much same areas from portions of Virginia, also into portions of Washington D.C. area, Pennsylvania, and also up toward the Boston and Connecticut region, around portions of Maine, and also Vermont and New Hampshire region as well. Let's see. I got an update on this here forecast here for tomorrow. Let me add this here to the forecast before we check out the tropical weather outlook. We have a marginal risk now. This changed from earlier this afternoon in my video. We now have a marginal risk again in Texas, all the way up into portion of Montana and in South Dakota as well for your Saturday. The tornado probability is less than 2% all area. Damaging winds pretty much 5% in these areas here in the brown. Hail report pretty much in the brown here. Let's see, winds pretty much Houston, Texas, all the way to Baltimore, Maryland. Hail reports this includes Portland, Maine, all the way to Canary, Maine, including Bangor, Maine, Lewiston, Maine, and also Grand Island, Maine as well. Alright, just want to show you that there. This is the new information came in from the Storm Prediction Center. Marginal risk now extended from Maine all the way down to Georgia to the Carolinas. Also from southeast Texas through central Texas all the way into portion of Montana. All the way into portion of South Dakota as well. A marginal risk for severe weather. Main threat will be damaging winds in the marginal risk area, but cannot rule out some large hail as well. Alright, now let's finally wrap it up with the tropical weather outlook. We're going to talk about Margot in this video here, because there's Lee. Here's Margot. If you're tracking Margot at home, it's located near latitude 18.8 north, longitude 34.3 west. Moving is to the west-northwest at 15 knots or 17 miles per hour. Maximum sustained wind 35 knots or 40 miles per hour. And minimum central pressure 1,005 millibars for this storm. And let's take a look. Let's take a look at the track of Margot real quick and see if anything changed from earlier this afternoon. If I were you, go back and check out my video from earlier today on both of these systems, Lee and also Margot. So if you get a chance, go by and I go into more detail on it, but I went in a little bit more detail on this one here as well. Alright, 5 p.m. advisory. That's where it was located at. Still remains a tropical storm through Sunday at 2 p.m. And then become a hurricane by Monday morning, and then by Wednesday afternoon still remains a hurricane over the tropical Atlantic and remains a fish storm in the tropics. Alright, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Everybody continue to stay safe and well. Also enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, consider subscribing, and we'll catch you back in the next video. So have a wonderful Friday evening, folks.